Hey, how y'all doing? Well, if you did not watch the video I posted last week, you're probably not going to want to watch this one either. I spoke to a few people about it, and some of them just quickly glanced at it, but they were a little bored because I just got to rambling. And this might be some more rambling. But I want to be an open book with y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out here like this because it's Monday and we're closed, so I can do whatever I want. But anyway, I want to be an open book with you, and I want to explain kind of what I'm up against at the moment. So I made a video and I told you guys that we're probably going to be shutting down Hermitage very soon, probably within a month or so. I gave you some of the reasons why, the biggest reason being that we just do not have a lot of business in Hermitage. So I wanna also explain that when I made that video, or when I posted the video, it was on Monday. Now the Friday before, so just 3 days before, I get a phone call from the realtor. We've been working on opening another store, more or less moving Vienna just 4 minutes down the street. And I told you a little bit in the last video about that. So the new store was 3,500 square foot. It was in a great location on a busy road with busy signage, or with good signage, excuse me. And we had been in the works on getting that store for about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks when I made that video. So what I didn't tell you was where the place was. And I say was because we may have run into a little issue with it. So it was actually Wagon Trails. And when Wagon Trails shut down last year, we actually spoke to the owner, because we went on their last day of business, and we spoke to the owner about what they were doing with the property now that it wasn't going to be Wagon Trails. And they said that they were going to be leasing it. So we called them just a couple days after their last day of business, and my wife got some prices and talked to her about it. And we were interested in possibly moving the store there instead of opening Hermitage. Well, just 2 or 3 days after my wife spoke to her, the lady called her and said, unfortunately, someone else is looking at it, and it's looking like they're going to close on the deal, so it's no longer available. So in the meantime, we ended up finding this place, opening this location. Fast forward a couple months, we drive past it all the time, and we see that there are for lease signs up. So I messaged the owner again and just said, hey, we were interested in this, last year, but someone was supposed to take it over. What's going on? Is it still available? And she said, yeah, that deal had fallen through and it is still available, but now you got to go through this realtor. So we got in touch with the realtor. We went there on a Tuesday, talked to her. We loved it. We loved the price, the location, just everything was perfect. It could not have been more perfect. 1 week later, we went back. We spoke to the same realtor and her partner this time, and we talked about some more of the finer details, and we got the ball rolling on renting it. So 2 weeks ago on Friday, the realtor called me and said, hey, the owners are very excited to have you here. They think you guys are going to have a great relationship with us moving forward, and we were going to sign a lease for 3 years. She's like, the owners don't even want to meet with you. They are just on board with everything we presented to them on the price, the term, and everything. We got a lease together, and we're going to email it to you today. All you got to do is sign the lease, and then it's going to go to the attorney to become finalized. So we were super excited. Over the course of the weekend, I made the video, and then I shared that video on Monday to tell you that we are going to be closing Hermitage down, and we're going to open a new location within a couple of months to replace Vienna. So I posted the video on Monday. On Tuesday, I went to Cleveland to pick up the rat racks that I just actually posted 2 of them for sale today. But they were additional rat racks that were going to go at the new store. It was the last group of a lot of stuff that I bought off of a guy that was getting out of the hobby. was a lot of snake racks, a lot of rat racks, and 6 snakes. So on Tuesday, I'm on my way back from Cleveland. We just spent a lot of money to buy this stuff. And I get a call from the realtor, and she said, unfortunately, I have some bad news. The owners do not think it's a good idea for you to move here because they are worried about PETA. And they do not want to have PETA knocking on their door every day about what you guys do. To say that shocked me is, I mean, I was shocked. I was stunned because just 4 days ago, you told me that the owners were very excited. They didn't even want to meet us. They were happy with everything. We've been in the works on this deal for a month, and now just 4 days later, you went from very excited to have us to we don't want you here at all because of PETA. Now, if you do not know, PETA is the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Now, it sounds like a great organization, but they are literally a group. If you look them up and what they do, I mean, they literally euthanize more dogs on a yearly basis than any other organization. They don't believe that we should even have cats and dogs as pets. All animals should be free and wild and left alone and all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you YouTube it, you'll find a ton of crap and negative information on that group. Problem is they have millions and millions of dollars, and they can fight against people who obviously don't have nearly as much money or as much backing as them. But in the same sense, these are people that have been in the animal industry for 30 plus years, who had like basically a zoo on their own property where you could see zebras and African African bulls and just different animals from all over the world. They've been doing that for 30 years. And we've been in the animal world for about 6 years and have never had any interaction with PETA. Besides that, everything we're doing is 100% legal. We pay our taxes, it's ethical, it's moral. You can't say nothing about it because, I mean, if they shut us down, that's, roughly 1,100 people locally who cannot feed their snakes. And that's including some pet stores, some hobby breeders, and just people that have 1 or 2 pet reptiles. But I was shocked, it's like, how do you go, after talking about it for a month, how do you go from we're very excited to have you to we don't want you at all? And not only that, but I already made a video announcing that we were shutting the Hermitage store down, which doesn't really have anything to do with the new place, but it kind of does because there's too much to juggle to have this place open, Vienna open, and try to get everything moved into a new store. So Hermitage is really slow, and we kind of already accepted that we're going to shut it down. But we just kind of sped the process up by announcing it, letting you all know. Plus, we told you that we're going to get a new place within the next couple of months. Plus, I just spent a couple $1,000s buying more rat racks and more snake racks for the store. I already emailed the company that we're trying to get a wholesale account with so that we could sell Exotero tanks, and I gave her the new address, and I'm moving all this along just to get denied and have the door slammed in our face. It really makes no sense to me. And after I got off the phone with her, I was completely shook and speechless. But I actually made a video warning people, anyone who possibly wants to lease wagon trails to just be careful, because after being denied this second time, I started thinking about a year ago, and why did they really deny us? Was somebody really interested in leasing the property from them, or did they just say that because they didn't want us there? And if that's the case, why did it take so long? Why did it take a month for them to deny us this time and then throw out that BS about PETA being the reason? So I made that video on my way back, and I never posted it anywhere because I'm hopeful. So as soon as I got back to the house, I actually typed a letter to the owners of Wagon Trails, and I kind of went into detail about our humble beginnings and where we started from, and how we've never had any problems or any interactions with PETA. But even if we did, I'm not worried about them. We have a lot of customers that would back us up against them. Not only that, there's US Arc. If anyone ever tries to shut down a reptile store just on the basis of they don't want to feed rats or feed animals to other animals or feed bugs to animals, US Arc is backing up a lot of them places. I mean, that's what they do. Not that I've ever talked to them or am associated directly with them about us, but I know that if someone tried to shut us down simply because of reptiles or rats, I know that I could give them a call, and more than likely they'll help us out. I'm sure we'll have to pay something, but there's help is basically what I'm saying. So here's our dilemma. We have Vienna, and everyone who goes to Vienna knows that the driveway is not great. It's one in, one out. We can only comfortably park maybe 5 or 6 vehicles before cars are being blocked in. And, you know, it's a very small store. Obviously, we cannot do reptile boarding at the Vienna location. We can't have as many products there as we can in, say, Hermitage or a 3,500 square foot building. And there's just certain limitations that we have there that we really want to break them limitations and get into a spot that we need to be in to be able to sell what we should be selling and what we should have been selling over at least the last 6 months up to 2 years. Now, I went into the city building in Hermitage today, and I did find out and verify that Hermitage is zoned commercial and it is legal to have a reptile or a retail store here. So I sent the lady an email with the company that we have been working to get an account with for, 7 months now. I'm not sure if it's going to help us or not, but we've done everything that they've asked of us, and we've proved everything that we've had to prove that we're a legitimate tax-paying business and it's zoned properly. She's been here and inspected the place at least twice. She's in agreement with us and says that she's fighting for us, but it's the corporation themselves that are battling us. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's that difficult for everyone to get an account with them or not. But they are a big global company, so you got to understand, no matter what you tell them, they need to be able to fact check and verify. So, we may or may not be able to get out of the lease in Hermitage, but win, lose, or draw, our 1-year lease does end in October. So I was thinking that maybe we would, shut the store down like we had planned, maybe around first week of June or sometime in June, but then use the rest of the time until October just to breed rodents here and do reptile boarding here. Since the lease does extend for another 5 or 6 months from now, we might as well just keep the space and use it for rodent breeding and the animal boarding, since we are boarding, I think 5 animals at this time. We got another one coming in this week. We got another one coming in second week of June, and other people are talking about it. So we can still use the space for breeding rodents and boarding reptiles. And then maybe either people can pick up their feeders here, either by appointment only, or set up times of, say, hey, 3 days a week for 4 hours, we're going to be here cleaning cages and stuff like that, and you could come pick up feeders. So there's just a lot to think about, because if we completely shut down Hermitage, a good portion of the customers that do come to Hermitage started out in Vienna. And some of the customers that found out about us in Hermitage come to Vienna just because they want to see me or see Amber or whatever the reason. They might just be in the area and they prefer going there instead. But if every one of the Hermitage customers came to Vienna, our average sales would go from about 36 people to 50 to 55 people a day. And with that many people at that small of a parking lot and everything like that, it's going to be a mess. Of course, some people would say that's a good problem to have, but at the same time, I don't want there to be any problem for the people that just want to get in there and get out with their feeders. They're not trying to wait 20 minutes for someone to move their car to leave. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got this place until October, unless we break the lease, which I really don't want to do. So what are your thoughts? Help me out here. I'm sure there's going to be some people that might want to bash me for coming to you about this, but listen, even though I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, I've never had any business experience or schooling. A little bit of schooling, but not much. You know, we're growing and learning every day, and I have been doing this for 6 years, so I know the routine that we have, but certain aspects of it I'm stuck on, because I'm just like, I want to make the right decision, and any little decision could cost us tens of thousands of dollars. It could cost us a 1 to 3 year lease. It could cost us customers if we shut down or move too far away. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, you know, what do you do? Because, I mean, Wagon Trails would have been perfect. It's only 4 minutes from our driveway. It would be probably 2 or 3 minutes closer for most of you. Very few of you would it increase your time of driving there versus coming to where we're at now. But it was only 2 minutes. You know what I mean? That would not bother anybody, I'm sure of it. Plus, with a giant store, I'm sure everyone's going to be happy about it anyway, because that for sure is a commercial property. It's in Ohio, and I'm sure we'd be able to get that account in order to sell Exotero tanks, plus all the other merchandise that we cannot carry yet. So that would have been the perfect location. Unfortunately, they you know, I told you I wrote them the letter. I probably didn't finish what I was saying about the letter because I'm bouncing all over the place, but I more or less typed them up a letter when I got home from Cleveland asking them to reconsider. Told them we have no problem with PETA. We ain't got, you know, I don't think PETA has a foot to stand on if they were to come after us. Told them about our humble beginnings. I told them if there's anything more that worries you, please call me, and we'd be more than willing to talk to you. We could meet face to face. If you wanted to raise the deposit or change the term of the lease, we would be more than happy to work with you in any way, shape, or form. And they have not even responded to it. No phone call, no nothing. So I don't know what to do. We did have like 3 different people send me pictures of buildings or stores that are either for lease, for rent, or for sale. The problem is most of them are between 10 minutes and a half an hour away. And I always said if we move the Vienna location, I'm not going to move more than, say, 6 to 10 minutes away from where it's at. Because we have so many people that come there, I don't want to screw over anybody, let alone 400, 600 people. So I'm not sure. I mean, we have options. We can get another building. We could build a building on our property. We could move to another location that's, you know, 15, 20 minutes away. We could keep Hermitage and just use it for breeding rodents and let people come here 3 days a week, just a few hours at a time to get their feeders until the end of October. But again, that's only till the end of October. What are we going to do after that? Besides that, we have a new baby. We're gonna have a new baby in August. And then of course the reptile shows every other month, and just the normal day-to-day stuff of the business is just like, where do we stand now? I mean, we've had so many goals and so many things that we have been working on that were like 99% accepted and ready to go. And it all was shut down with one phone call with a terrible explanation of why. So that's where I'm at, you know, and I wasn't even going to make this video. I was going to give it at least until the end of this week, just in the hopes of Wagon Trails or the Burtok family that owns it. Hopefully that they'll read my letter, talk amongst themselves, maybe give us a call so that we could talk more about it. But so far they haven't called, and I'm not sure if they're going to. And we don't need to make any quick decision on Hermitage, but the problem is, you know, to pay someone to stay out here for 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, or now 5 days a week because we're closed on Mondays, it's just not worth it. I mean, we're losing some days up to $400 a day just to keep Hermitage open. There are days we break even. There are days that you could say we made profit. But when you do the average over the entire month, we have lost money every single month since we've been here in Hermitage. Now, of course, I could do a whole bunch of advertising, maybe get a better sign, and try to bring more people in. But do I really want to put that much more money into this place when, I mean, the, what do you call it? The, ventilation. The ventilation is terrible, which I told you before, like I didn't know about that when we first moved in here. I should have realized that. It should have been the first thing I looked for in a building was great ventilation, but I screwed up on that one. So the ventilation isn't good. The parking isn't much better than Vienna. However, with 2 stores, I don't think we need the greatest parking in the world anyhow. But, you know, as slow as it is, you know, Amber's bored to death here. I mean, the cages, the rodents are spotless and everything is clean, but she's bored out of her mind here. I mean, she would be more help to us at Vienna, where most of the customers come, most of the breeding is done, and just everything. But if we paid someone to be out here 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 5 days a week, you know, it's sucking up so much money on a day-to-day basis that we're going to go bankrupt and lose everything if we do this for too long. You know what I'm saying? And we're just a small business. Yes, our yearly revenue is a lot, but there's a lot of overhead and there's a lot of expenses that go into it. I mean, we're paying over $500 a month for insurance for every place. You know, we got the rent here every month and utilities, and in the winter our gas bill or our electric bill in the winter was over $400 a month. Plus the gas bill in Vienna and propane and all that. So the overhead is very, very high running 2 stores. So do we really want to put a whole bunch of money into advertising in Hermitage when we're only averaging 4 to 7 people a day now? So there's just a lot to juggle, a lot to think about, and realistically, I don't have enough time to think because most times I don't have enough help to do the regular stuff. You know, I have to do so much of the laboring, I don't have the time to think about the business and to the growth and expansion of trying to find a bigger facility or a bigger store. It's hard to even make this video. I mean, thankfully, Matt was working the store, and then at 4 o'clock, Amber's working the store. And because we shut this down on Mondays, that's the only reason that I was able to come here for half an hour today. So I put it all on the table for you. If you want to give some help or some ideas, I'm all ears. For now, I'm still the only one cupping up bugs. I did train someone else, or attempted to train someone else. Unfortunately, he was allergic to the roaches and he had to quit after just a couple days. Currently, I'm not looking to train anyone else in the bug building because I'd love to create a better system of training and a better system of just how we do things before hiring someone else, because I think our last 3 or 4 people didn't even last a week each. And it wasn't just me being an a-hole. It was, you know, too hot or allergies or, you know, bugs give me the heebie-jeebies. So, you know, it's so much easier to find someone to do the retail stuff than it is for the bugs. So I don't mind just keep doing the bugs myself. But again, if we had only 1 store, that's a lot less bugs that I have to cup up. It's a lot less bugs that I just have to handle. A lot less work in general for me. Amber's gonna save an hour a day of driving. So if she's working Vienna, everything is just going to be so much better if we only had 1 location. Problem is, the location we have is just not cutting it. We need something bigger. So if you have any ideas, feel free to throw them in the comments or give me a ring one day or catch me when you're at the store. I know I never have time to talk to anybody, but if it's a good enough idea, I will sure be to listen. I will sure enough listen. But other than that, I got to get out of here. I got to get back to Vienna. I got a lot more work to do. Yeah, that's it. I just want to lay everything on the table for you. As I've told you 1,000 times in the past, I'm an open book. I try not to keep any secrets from anybody. I try not to lie to anybody because it's too easy to get caught up in it. But if you're wondering why we do the things we do, why are we shutting down on Mondays? Why are we shutting this store down in general? What's happening with the new store? Now you kind of understand why certain things are happening the way they are happening. And with, like I said, the customer appreciation party, the reptile shows, the new baby on the way, we have a lot on our plate this summer alone. it's hard to stop for 5 minutes to make a video to let you guys know what's going on, let alone putting the time into trying to change things, fix things, and expand and grow the way we would like to. So with that, I hope you all have a beautiful week, a beautiful evening, and I will see you next time. Take care.